Hi, what's up? Welcome to my unit. Currently having a group study though, so I hope you don't mind the noise.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, thanks. Do you want some cake?
Oh, no, thank you.
Okay, yeah. So just make yourself feel at home.
Okay. So, do you like the subject?
Yeah, I love math so much, especially because I have this prof right now and she's just so smart and she really makes the subject super interesting for all of us.
Nice. Okay, so why is mathematics considered a language?
Mathematics is considered a language because just like other languages, people are able to communicate ideas, specifically mathematical ideas. And just like language, we can compare numbers to words and equations to sentences.
Okay, so mathematics is known to be rooted in logic and reasoning. How do you perceive it to be an important tool in dealing with practical problems in life because of this?
Because since mathematics is rooted in logic, for example, if you're trying to figure out what place you want to eat or trying to figure out which candidate to vote, then you can use mathematics, such as social choice theory, and you can even use it to solve problems such as the transport problem and even the shortest path.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So do you want to meet some of my other guests?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sure. Okay, so this is Loren, and I'll just leave you with her for now while I go study math. I just love it so much.
Okay.
Hi,
Hi. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good too.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, so I heard you were a finance student.
Yeah, I am.
That's interesting.
Thanks.
Why is money management everybody's business?
I think that since money is a form of currency, it's important to have effective financial management so you can rank your needs and priorities.
So how can mathematics be used to gain financial literacy and profitability?
I think that it can help you make good financial decisions based on quantitative data.
After learning about the lessons in consumer math, how do you propose to manage your own finances today and after graduation?
The way I think about it, well, maybe, for example, compounding can be used so that I can choose the right savings plan, or maybe like interests can also be used to choose the good or the best loans. Yeah.
So, last question. Which way of investing do you feel you'd like to do in the next 3 to 5 years?
Maybe time deposits or bonds. And bonds and stocks there.
Interesting. So, is that a math book?
No, it's not.
It's not?
Yeah, it's not.
You like reading it?
Yeah, I've been into it recently.
You're reading it upside down?
Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah.
Hey Lauren, something's wrong with your bread. Doesn't taste good, man. I mean, it smells fine.
Are you sure that's bread?
It looks like bread.
Oh my
It
god.
smells like... Yo! Oh! My bad. It's
Francis,
not bread.
let's talk about decision sciences, Francis.
About decision sciences.
Yeah? Okay. So, how useful is mathematics in decision making?
I think mathematics would help in making a more informed decision. So it would be more useful for us, and it would be easier for us to make a more practical decision.
So, can you explain the relevance of social choice theory in tackling social problems?
Well, I think considering we have so many social issues in today's world, we need this to help us make it better.
Why is game theory a relevant field of mathematics?
Well, Lauren, that's a good question. Excuse me. I think game theory is a big point in mathematics because it'll help us make better decisions between two things. So it's like choosing the lesser of two evils, right?
Okay, social choice theory. You believe that voting is an effective way of making group decisions?
Well, you'd have to believe so, right? We live in a very democratic country, so you'd have to hope that voting really does help things.
So, what's your idea of a fair voting system?
Everyone's vote should count. Everyone's vote should be equal.
Okay, game theory. So games are described in one of your lessons. Can you describe the meaning of games in this context?
Well, personally, games are more of multiple players engaging in an event wherein they would both have a sort of payoff.
Can you give a situation in real life? That,
Well,
yeah.
I think that the best situation that I could put into my life right now would be, so I have two tests tomorrow, right, which I haven't really studied for. So I gotta
Nice.
pick between either I study both or I only study one. Which one would be better for me and my grades, you know?
Makes sense.
Oh yeah, Kat's here. Hi!
Where's Josh?
He's in the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
So where have you been?
Around. Out of the closet.
Ah, so have you studied now?
Yeah, of course.
I haven't.
Not yet. Why?
I don't have the time.
Hey, Josh.
Hi.
Hey.
I just said to you guys.
Okay.
Okay, I forgot about this math homework.
Oh.
Can I ask for help?
Okay.
Okay. So there's like, first question is, what is the difference between coding theory and cryptography?
Okay, so coding theory is basically for detecting and correcting errors, and then cryptography is for making sure that there's no third-party interference in your message communication.
How relevant is mathematics in this digital age?
I think it's really relevant, as part of like networking and communications, and you need it to be safe while doing that online.
Okay. Coding theory. Why is there a need to invent codes?
I think there's a need to invent code so that the secret messages are protected and so those trying to eavesdrop cannot eavesdrop.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
true.
Yeah. What's your understanding of the process of sending messages through noisy channels?
Sending messages through noisy channels is when like the channel is too noisy from the word itself. It means that the message can be disrupted or the receiver will receive a different message from the original.
So why is the field of mathematics called coding theory important in the real world then?
Well, it's important in the real world since the messages need to be sent to the intended receivers. So, for example, data transmission, data storage, or just some of the real life applications.
Okay, Josh, do you know anything about cryptography?
Yeah, cryptography is the process of encoding and encoding text so that it's safer and your privacy doesn't get breached.
So why is there a need to encrypt messages, and how is this different from decrypting messages?
Well, especially now in the digital age where privacy is a huge concern, and sometimes you just have to send information to someone and you want to make sure that it's confidential and that nobody is able to access it. So that's where an encryption comes in. And then decryption is the process of decoding encrypted text so that you can see the original text and actually see the information and read it.
Okay, so what is there to consider in constructing a crypto system?
There are many things to consider, like a lot talaga. But the main thing that you have to consider is what type of encryption you're going to use and how simple or complex it is. Because we have two, there's symmetrical and there's also asymmetrical.
Yeah. So which is better then?
You can't really say, but in my opinion, the safer one would be asymmetrical because it's much harder to decode. Because when in symmetrical, there's only one key. So like if someone knows that key, then they can easily access your information. Whereas in asymmetrical, there's a private key and a public key, and you need to know both in order to be able to crack the code.
So why is the field of mathematics called cryptography important in the real world?
Just like what I said a while ago, especially now in the digital age, privacy is really a huge concern, especially if you are sending sensitive documents.
Wow. Thank you guys. So
Josh, can I borrow a pillow?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want a pillow?
No, but can I ask you some questions?
Okay.
So why is mathematics considered as a tool in solving problems efficiently?
Well, because it uses formulas, it's not merely guessing.
What does it mean when you say that a method is efficient?
It is efficient when it actually does the objective function. For example, it maximizes or it minimizes.
Give an example of a real-life situation that can be considered as a maximization or minimization problem.
Say if you want to sell something.
Can you describe how linear programming can help you solve this problem?
Okay, say you're selling this pillow and a pillowcase. So your objective function would be to maximize your profit. Your decision variables would be these ones. And then your constraints would be the maximum number of items that you can actually sell.
Interesting.
Thank you.
What is your understanding of the shortest path problem?
The shortest path problem is basically the shortest path to reach a location.
Of the transportation problem?
The transportation problem would be transferring certain units to an area to minimize the cost.
And of the assignment problem?
The assignment problem is to assign a person to do a specific job while to actually minimize the cost also.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
What are you gonna do with that pillow?
Gonna sleep.
Okay. Have you been there the whole time?
Yeah, I'm a massive ninja arts.
Okay, I have some questions for you.
Come on, shoot.
Okay, so explain the meaning of Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio.
Well, technically, the Fibonacci sequence is a unique series of numbers because you take, well, it actually starts with 0 and 1, and then in each succeeding number, it's technically just the sum of the two previous numbers. And when you take one number and divide that over the previous number, technically you'll always have a ratio of 1.618. And that's technically what they call the golden ratio. And in terms of nature and arts, you can technically see this in most paintings, to be honest.
So what are fractals and how are they used in solving problems in the real world?
Well, fractals are somehow jagged shapes with an infinite perimeter, because zooming in on it, you'll technically see the same shape over and over again, compared to the big image. And well, in terms of the real world, you can actually also see this in sunflowers. You know how sunflowers have those seeds in the middle. They technically spiral, like they're endless, like fractal.
So how is mathematics involved in the design of creative works?
Well, you know how those Greek those Greek designs have those like weird square shapes over there.
Yeah.
That's technically how it's used. Because math can be found in patterns, usually like those in architecture, some patterns in like bags and everything. There's also you can actually also find it in music because we have those beats. It's also technically like a pattern dictated by math.
They say that mathematics can be seen in nature. Do you believe that?
Yeah, technically yes, because like what I said, a lot of organisms technically are dictated by this set of numbers. Like from the shape of the snail's shell, you see it spirals. That's technically dictated by the Fibonacci sequence or the golden ratio. Also, like what I said, the seeds on a sunflower seed, that's technically spiraling, like what you see in the golden ratio of the Fibonacci sequence.
Which applications of fractal geometry do you see as most important and why?
You know, technically, it really just relates to my previous answers. You can only find it, well, not only, but you can really find it in everywhere in this world. From the formations of rocks, aside from this, architecture, sometimes maybe even graphic design. You can actually find the fractal geometry over there because it's an endless shape going around. You can see it. You can see the same shape over and over again when you zoom in, when you zoom out.
Okay, last question. In this lesson, you have learned about Fibonacci numbers and the golden ratio. Why do they say that these numbers are associated with the concept of beauty in arts and in nature?
Well, we live in a world with subjective style. And out of all of that, this Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio actually give us a theoretical formula for objective beauty. Because the proportions of such numbers, when put into visual perspective, create a unique and aesthetic formation that is actually pleasing to the eye. And well, in terms of like 2D drawings or like 2D designs, the depth, elegance, and allure of nature and art's beauty is dictated by the simple ratio of 1.61.
Very insightful. Thank
Back
you.
my phone.
Really did not see you there.
Hey Kat, could you help me with some extra credit? I'm kind of flunking the math class and I need some help.
Okay.
Anyway, so the question is, how can you apply the concepts you've learned in this course to your field?
Okay, so since we're in science, or at least I'm in science, you can see fractals in a lot of like body parts, the blood vessels, and you can also see them in leaves for their venation.
Okay. So, how do you view mathematics as a fundamental tool applicable to a wide range of disciplines?
So mathematics is a fundamental tool for a lot of disciplines because it's very flexible. It's not just equations, you can see it in communication systems and art patterns and decision making even.
Okay. What are your views in learning the concepts discussed in this course? Are there topics or concepts that are too easy or too difficult to understand?
I think they're equal parts easy and
I think they're all
hard.
easy for you, Kat.
No, not that true. Anyway, as I said, they're both easy and hard. Some are easier to get than most, but they're not that hard. But they are interesting. It's fun to see math outside of equations.
Okay. Name 3 words that describe your experience in this course.
Practical, insightful, and unique.
Okay. Thanks, Kat, for the help.
Who is this?
What? I thought this was Josh's friend.
It's Josh's friend.
Where's Josh?
I don't know.
Dude.
Oh.
I'm so freaked out.